Hello everyone. So this is a proposal, kind of a request thing to the government, and my request is suggesting that we partially reduce the tuition fees for this year. And the reason why I'm saying partially and not fully is because I acknowledge that with these grades we'll be able to progress to further years, and we will get our degrees for those of us that are, have final exams this year. But the main point that I'd like to stress is that we're not getting the quality of education that, we deserve for the money that we're paying. £9,250 is a lot of money, and you'd expect with that we get a full, normal quality of education. But obviously, given the conditions, that isn't quite possible. And as a result, we're having to pay these extremely large, I would almost say extortionate, because we're not getting the level of the quality of education that we need. We're paying these ridiculous fees that actually just don't make any sense at all. And the problem with that is we're missing out. Number one, there's nothing like going to university, sitting in a lecture theatre, and then taking down notes, maybe at the end asking your lecturer a question about the topic, whatever you've done in the lecture, or just sitting next to friends, taking tips off each other, exchanging notes, whispering into each other's ears about whatever, I don't know, problems, like how do you solve a problem, or can you explain this concept to me, I don't quite understand. And the whole, going to lunch and eating with your fellow students, having just a regular student life, we're not getting that. We are in our rooms, our literal bedrooms, okay? Here I am in my bedroom, which needs a bit of a clean, but hey. And we're not getting the level or the quality of education that we deserve as students, given the prices that we're paying. So my proposal to the government is that just for this academic year, that we sort of, or until things get back to normal again and we can start going to campus fully, not just going to campus as a one-off thing, but just going sort of fully again. And my suggestion is to just reduce the tuition fee to the previous tuition fee before Parliament decided to increase it in 2012, I believe. So if we can just go back to £3,000 for this year for tuition fee, and at the very least for accommodation fees, not have to pay rent for living in, a university-owned accommodation while we're not even living there. I mean, I live at home anyway. For those who are living in student accommodation, which is the vast majority of students, they should not have to pay for the time that they're not there, and I believe that is completely fair. We are getting our lessons over Zoom, okay? Now, Zoom isn't it's good that we have technology that we can learn from, but it's not the same as being there with a tutor, a teacher, a lecturer, and, especially like the sort of classroom environment. We're missing out on that. You don't pick up things, like, for me personally at least, I don't pick up things the way I would in a classroom or a lecture theatre. I simply don't. And the sort of range of exams are limited as well, because for me, I do physics myself, and sort of derivations of so showing that you understand, that you know a concept, like in a sort of textbook manner kind of thing, and you can derive it from first principles. They can't test us on that because we can just look in our books, and so they're not giving us derivations. So we're being limited to what's put on the exams, and we've been given lots of time to do those exams, which nowhere near replicates the sort of learning environment that we would get in a normal year before all this COVID-19 stuff began. So I believe that it's completely unfair to be paying the same amount for something that we would usually get a lot more from. We're not getting that same sort of value, and it's not fair on us. So if the government cares about us as students, given that we are the future of their economy, then they will indeed let us, they will have sympathy on us. They were giving £10,000 to businesses last year, and there are a lot more businesses and business owners than there are university students, And my proposal is only that we revert to the old tuition fee for this year, so £3,000 or whatever it was, £3,250, so that we can, a lot of students, aren't in the best financial situations either. They might be struggling financially, and it isn't fair. Boris Johnson, yourself, I mean, look, you went to Eton, right, and you did philosophy or whatever at Oxford, and you were born into a family of Oxbridge graduates, and do you think it's fair? You've never experienced this sort of hardship before. You've lived till however old you are now, in your 50s or something, and you've lived a very good life. Now, don't you care or want that for us? We are members of your country. We deserve this because we are the future of your economy, and our lives will impact the economy in a positive way once we graduate and get those degrees. So don't you think you should reduce the financial burden, which is literally crippling students, right? It is crippling quite a few students, including myself, and I'm not enjoying it, neither am I appreciating it. So my request to you is, please reduce the tuition fee back to the old tuition fee, and don't make students pay for their accommodation while they aren't there. Thank you.